Hi, welcome to the tutorial 1.4 part 4. This is on derived units. So up to now we figured out how to convert units of length that use prefixes like a centimeter to a kilometer, for example, or units of time or units of amount like the mole. They all involve base units. And the question here is, how do we manage units that are not just those base units but some kind of unit derived from those base units? For example, velocity has two units involved, both a measure of length, distance, divided by time. And sometimes those are combined into a whole new unit, like the Newton is a mass unit, kilogram times a meter divided by a second squared. That becomes its own unit. It's a derived unit. It's built up from base units, but it has its own symbol, its own letter. We're just going to look here at volumes and areas because they're, I think, the easiest to deal with, and the logic is always going to kind of be the same. You're always going to convert units the way we did before by either dividing or by multiplying by some kind of conversion factor. But it's going to take a little more work to come up with the correct conversion factor. So let's look at a question. Here's the question. If you had 4 square meters and someone asked you, what is this equivalent to in some other unit, for example, the decimeter squared? It's best to kind of visually see this first. Something that's 4 square meters means just what it looks like in this picture. Here's a square meter. That's a measure of area, not a measure of length, but of area. That's square, the size of that square. And we have an area that is the extent or the size of the area. 4 of those square meters cover it. That's what we mean by saying this thing has an area of 4 square meters. So how would we find the equivalent number of decimeter squares? I drew a little green square here at the top, and that's a decimeter square. And I think that just looking at the drawing, it should make you avoid this kind of very obvious mistake that people make all the time. They say, oh, there's 10 decimeters in a meter, so there must be 10 decimeter squares in a meter squared. And you can tell. There's no way that 10 of these little green squares are going to cover this whole gray square. It just isn't going to work. And you can tell by looking. So how many does it take, this green squares, to cover the gray square? I think you can see it pretty easily. It'll take 10 to make one row because the distance, that is the width of this square, is 1/10 of a meter. So 10 little squares, these little green decimeter squares, will cover the first row. And how many such rows will I need to cover the entire gray square meter? Well, 10 more such rows. So my final number is not 10 decimeter squares per meter squared, but 100 decimeter squares per meter squared. And that's going to give me the conversion factor between areas that involve square meters and square decimeters. 1 square meter is equal or equivalent to 100 decimeter squares. This is just a way of writing it. If you didn't want to try to visualize it, you'd say, okay, write down what you want to convert to 4 square meters. Multiply by a conversion factor. Well, the only one you know by looking at that table is between decimeters and meters. That's a 10-to-1 ratio. And then simply make a square out of this, at least mentally. Try to see the square meter in your mind, 1 meter by 1 meter, and ask yourself, well, what would that be in decimeters? Well, it would be 10 decimeters by 10 decimeters, and that would be 10 to the second, or 100 decimeter squares. Set up correctly, the units will cancel. We know from the previous tutorial we're not going to divide by 100 but multiply, and we have techniques to make sure we don't mess that up. So the answer is going to be 400 decimeter squares. Okay, pretty good, I hope. Let's now compare something that's not just 1 power of 10 different, but 2 powers of 10. Look at this diagram for a moment and see if it makes sense. The question really is, we'd like to figure out is how many of the red squares would cover this whole square meter. We already know 100 of the blue ones cover it. That is, 100 decimeter squares are equivalent to a meter square. But how about how many of these red squares? Again, the 10-to-1 ratio is easy to visualize. You can say, okay, a centimeter is this distance right here. That's 1/10 of a decimeter. So clearly, 100 of the red squares would fit one of these blue squares. And since this down here is one of those blue squares, it's going to take 100 times 100 of the centimeter squares to cover a square meter. So our answer is, how many centimeter squares are there in a meter squared? Not 100, but 100 times 100, because every one of these blue ones take 100. Or you do it without kind of overcomplicating it. You just imagine the square meter in front of you and you say, what's the dimensions in centimeters? 100 by 100 centimeters, or 10 to the fourth square meters is equal to, square centimeters is equal to a square meter. I hope that's pretty good. And let's do a couple of practices. We're just a few minutes into the tutorial. I think we can take the time to practice a couple. So let's see how the first one comes out. The question is, how many little millimeter squares are equal to 4 decameter squares? Decameter squares are pretty big. A decameter is 10 meters. So you're talking about something that is, 10 meters by 10 meters. That's one of those squares, and it's 4 of them. So we're talking a pretty big number. But mechanically, what do? We just type in the 4. We know we're going to multiply it by a power of 10, like we always have. And it's going to be a pretty good size number. And it's not going to be a negative exponent. I'm not going to divide by a power of 10, but multiply, because I'm going to have many millimeter squares. Well, what number do I divide by or multiply by? 1 power of 10 is a deca, and the milli is 3 powers of 10 below the base, so that's a difference of 4 powers of 10. So I have to square that, though. I have to say it's 10 to the 4th times 10 to the 4th, which is 10 to the 8th millimeter squares in a decameter square. And we'll check to see if that's right. They give us a green check. Looks pretty good. If this is too abstract, click on the hint and just do it every time until you get used to it. Does this look right to you? Would you have come up with this mentally on your own? You would notice 4 powers of 10 difference. Let's think of that as just 4 zeros. You're going to need another 4 zeros, another 4 powers of 10 to make a square out of a decameter square relative to a millimeter square, not just the length ratio. Maybe one more, just for good measure. Let's look at this one, maybe a little easier. How many centimeter squares are equivalent to 22 decimeter squares? I put in decimeter. Again, notice that it's going to be a positive power of 10 because the centimeters are smaller than the decimeters. And the only difference here is 1 power of 10. So when I make a square out of it, it's going to be 2 powers of 10. So it looks pretty good. I imagine in my mind a decimeter square, and it's made up of centimeters by saying it's a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter square. Okay, I hope that's pretty good. Those are areas. Now let's have a look at volumes, because those are going to come up in the lab really more often than areas. Areas will come up, but certainly volumes will come up a lot. So first of all, the logic is just the same, kind of the intuition that we built with the area works the same way for the volumes. Ask yourself this question: how many cubic decimeters are equivalent to a cubic meter? And you know there's 10 decimeters in a meter. So you kind of, if you just look at the diagram for a second, you kind of can see the answer pop out at you. How many of these little cubes, these red cubes, would it take to build one of these gray cubes? Well, I know this distance here is 1/10 of a meter. So it's going to take 10 of these red cubes to make the first row down here. Then I'm going to need 10 such rows to build the floor. That's 10 times 10. So far I have 100 of these cubic decimeters. And then I need 10 such floors to complete the cubic meter. So I end up with 1,000 cubic decimeters in a cubic meter. Or if I didn't want to think it through that carefully, I would say this same cube, the cubic meter, is the same as a 10 decimeter by 10 decimeter by 10 decimeter volume, which is, of course, 1,000 cubic decimeters. All right, that's that. And I think let's just glance at this other one, and that is to understand the relationship between, one layer down, cubic centimeters and decimeters. This comes up a lot in the lab, and kind of look at this definition up here. A cubic decimeter is by definition the same as a liter. So if you want to imagine how large a liter is, just take 1/10 of a meter stick, and think of that 1/10, that's a decimeter. Make a cube of that in front of yourself to kind of have a way to visualize it, and say that's a cubic decimeter, which is a liter. And right now we'd like to look at the relationship between that and a much smaller cube, this little green cubic centimeter. So again, same kind of logic. How many of these cubic centimeters will fit into a cubic decimeter? We don't have to go through the whole, floor row logic. We get it. There's 1,000 of these little cubic centimeters in a cubic decimeter. And that tells you that there's this relationship that often comes up. And I just kind of summarize it here at the top. The milliliter being a thousandth of a liter, that is, there's 1,000 milliliters in a liter, must be the same size as a cubic centimeter, because in both cases, 1,000 of them would fit this larger volume, which is a cubic decimeter, or an equivalent way, it is just the liter. I think this is the next logic related to what we did before. How about if we had a cubic centimeter? We want to compare that to a cubic meter. There's quite a few more cubic centimeters in a cubic meter than most people think when they first think about this. They tend to say 100 because they know there's 100 centimeters in a meter. But as you can tell by kind of looking at the diagram, just look at it for a moment with me. How many of these green cubes are going to fit into a cubic decimeter? Well, we already got it, 1,000. So this is the cubic meter over here, and just imagine in your mind's eye, every one of these little red cubes, being a cubic decimeter, has 1,000 little green cubes in it, cubic centimeters. Since there's 1,000 of those red cubes in here, it's going to be not just 100, but it's going to be what? 1,000 times 1,000. 1,000 of these cubes in here, and there's 1,000 of those. So 1,000 times 1,000 is, of course, going to be 1,000,000. 1,000 times 1,000 cubic centimeters is a cubic meter. How do you do that without having to overthink it? You simply say to yourself, if this were measured in centimeters, how much volume would I have in this cubic meter? It would be 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters by 100, and that is the same as 1 with 6 zeros, which is the same as 1,000,000 cubic centimeters. Okay, with density problems and things of that sort, you'll probably get tripped up on that every once in a while. So let's make sure we can at least do these volume conversions pretty readily. This is the most common one we'll be faced with, cubic meters to cubic decimeters and down to cubic centimeters. But for good measure, let's just randomly have these chosen for us to see that it's always the same procedure to solve these problems. So here's a practice problem for us. How many little cubic millimeters are equal to 70 cubic centimeters? Well, we know the answer is going to be 70 times some power of 10. We're either going to multiply or divide by a power of 10. I know it's going to be that we're going to multiply because the millimeter is smaller than a centimeter. As a matter of fact, it's smaller by 1 power of 10. Centi is 2 below the base as a length. Milli is 3 below. So I know I have to take the 10 and cube it, so I'm going to multiply by 3 powers of 10 to get the answer. Let's check our hint so we see how it's written out. Yeah, this looks right. Since there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter, I imagine the centimeter cube being 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, or 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters, coming out to 1,000 cubic millimeters. One last one, just to say that we did it. Let's try this one. How many cubic hectometers are equivalent to 64 cubic centimeters? Now this time we're going to have a very small number, so we're going to say 64, and we're going to have to divide or multiply by a negative exponent to get the number of hectometers, because hectometers are just very large compared to centimeter cubes. All right, let's look at the difference. 2 powers of 10 is a hectometer above the base. Centi is 2 below. That's 4 powers of 10, but I have to find the relationship between the cubes, so it's 10 to the 4th times 10 to the 4th times 10 to the 4th, so therefore that's 12 powers of 10 is the difference between a cubic centimeter and a hectometer. And of course the hectometer cube is much, much smaller. Once you write it out like this with all the zeros, frankly, it gets a little bit too hard to read. I think it's better to write it out in powers of 10. So a little bit fanciful, some of these questions. I don't think too many people are going to worry about how many hectometer cubes are equivalent to 64 cubic centimeters, but it could come up. And the most important part, though, is that you should have confidence that you can manage this no matter what units are thrown at you, because it's always the same. You're either multiplying or dividing by a difference in power of 10 cubed if it's volumes, squared when it's areas. In any case, good luck. Practice this. It throws people a little bit at first, especially when they do some practical applications, but I think you'll get it with time. All right, good luck, and we'll practice some more in class.